Well, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone. We have a number of items to cover and guests who are, some of whom are here and some of whom are yet arriving, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to begin with Kit Huelskamp and Beth Seibert to talk about a really terrific experience that's planned for kids in the summer program this year. Come up, ladies. Involving real-life science and the Ottawa River. Kit?
Thank you. Good morning. Rick Stolley, our Director of Parks and Recreation, wanted me to just share with the community a little of the educational opportunities that we are providing for our kids in the playground program this summer. We have been very fortunate to partner with Allen County Soil and Water Conservation District, and they have some marvelous events planned for our kids. Just giving them a little bit of the background of environmental issues in this area, the water table, and Beth can tell you a lot more about it.
Well, last summer we hosted an event with the Ottawa River Coalition and Ohio EPA, where here in Lima, in the Ottawa River, where we had a great assortment of fish that was collected, that were collected from the stream on display. And when we did that, we thought what a wonderful missed opportunity that was, a great visual it was about the statement of the health of the river and the recovery of the river. And so this year, through a grant from the Rotary Foundation, we generated the funds to recreate that event, and we partnered with the playground program kids, and we've got YMCA enrichment kids coming out. And so about 140 youth will be participating that day in a rotational basis. We're going to be looking at the fish. We're going to be looking at the insects that live in that stream. Both tell a wonderful story of the health of the river. We're also going to be doing some sampling on site with the kids. The kids are going to be measuring temperature and pH in the river and relating both of those back to the health of the fish and supporting those fish. We're also going to be looking under some hand microscopes the algae and understanding why algae grows in the river and what role that plays in the food chain and the ecosystem. And we're also hoping to get the kids into the river and do some floating on some rafts, but we've got some low flow issues to deal with in the next few days. But Monday, July 1st is really an all-day event, and we're really excited about hosting this opportunity.
You want to describe how you will actually capture the fish and what that involves in terms of the display that you'll have?
Yeah. The fish are captured. Division of Wildlife officials will be there, and they'll have like what I'm assuming are going to be backpack battery units that with a wand that extends into the pools where the fish live, and it puts an electrical charge into the pool, which temporarily kind of makes the fish faint or suspends them, and they float to the top and they're captured. It doesn't kill them. And so what we hope to do is collect a nice variety of species of fish. Some of them that we found last year in the process were catfish, red horse, smallmouth and largemouth bass, and a lot of little darters and other fish. Last year, 16 different species. But we've got aquariums that we'll have on display under a tent, and we've got some battery-operated aerators that are going to be running throughout the day to keep them, viable. And I know last year we had to cycle water fairly constantly from the river into the aquariums, but we think that that'll provide a really nice visual for these kids. And one of our challenges with this activity and the opportunity that we have, it's both a challenge and an opportunity with these young people, is the fact that every single day these kids on the playground program, they're walking down that river walk to go to lunch from whatever place they're at. And most of them view that river as a pond or a lake. They certainly don't view it as a river, and they don't view it as a natural resource and something life-giving both for the aquatic life and for the community. And we're hoping this activity changes that perception.
Terrific. Sounds like a great partnership and a great opportunity to do education in the context of recreation. So really a wonderful opportunity. I want to invite Chief Martin up to announce promotion and some appointments. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning to everyone. First, I would like to ask Detective Robert Stoodt to come forward. Bob, as he is much better known to everyone at the police department, is a 1982 graduate of Allen East High School. On December 10, 1984, he was appointed as a patrolman. He was honorably discharged from the Army National Guard on January 31, 1989. Bob and his wife Heather have 2 children and 1 granddaughter. Officer Bob Stoodt has worked with the youth of Lima and taught gang resistance education and training, or GREAT, in the Lima City Schools, and he was also appointed as the Drug Abuse Resistance Education, or DARE, officer, which, and again, I would think probably if we took a poll of most people in Lima, although we know him as Bob, everyone else, or the majority of other people in this community, probably know him as Officer Bobby. He's also been a member of the department SWAT team and bike team. On June 3rd of 2013, Officer Stoodt was promoted to police detective as a result of a competitive civil service exam. Now, prior to that, he was also assigned as a juvenile bureau investigator before being promoted to detective, which gives him a real leg up. He already understands much more about the investigative process and the tools of investigation that are available than what most people would understand coming into that position. But we certainly wish him every success in his new position. Detective, would you like to say something?
Sure. Thank you. I look forward to the opportunities that and the challenges that are coming up. And I look forward to serving the community under this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Congratulations, Bob.
As is so typical of police officers, though, you send them into a house where people have guns and are shooting at you, and they do that without batting an eye, but you try to put them in front of a camera and they tense up. So we appreciate that, Bob. Next, I would like to ask our 2 community service aides, or 2 newest community service aides, LeeAnn Shade and Diane Fowler, to come forward. LeeAnn is a product of Beth High School, having graduated. Am I allowed to say this?
Yes. Sure.
Having graduated in 1973, LeeAnn attended Taylor University in Upland, Indiana, and she's also attended Lima Technical College and the Ohio State University in Lima. LeeAnn retired from the police department as a secretary after 30 years of service on February 28th of 2007. And so it's actually with a great deal of anticipation that we're able to get her back now, as she was appointed to the position of crime prevention aide on Monday, June 24th, 2013. Additionally, Diana Fowler is a product of Perry High School, having graduated in 1979. Diana attended James A. Rhodes State College, majoring in human service technology, and as part of her studies, she has been working with Job and Family Services in the Social Service Department. She is in her last semester and will complete her studies on August 7, 2013. Diana was previously employed with DTR Industries in Bluffton, Ohio, before pursuing an associate's degree at Rhodes State College. Ms. Fowler was also appointed to the position of crime prevention aide on Monday, June 24, 2013. And I guess actually one other item I forgot to mention about you, LeeAnn, is the fact that, and I think it's one of the most interesting things about your resume, is that you used to be with the group Up With People and toured nationally. So that actually certainly gives her a great deal of experience in terms of public speaking and those types of things, which is going to be a very important part of this job. But I would like to offer both of you now an opportunity to say something if you'd like.
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity.
Step up.
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to work in the department.
And we're both looking forward to working with the neighborhood groups and the community. Thanks.
Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. Chief, you might comment on the nature of their responsibilities.
Well, actually, yes. The community service aides, for anyone that's not aware of it, are actually a very integral part of our department. It is a position that is funded through the CDBG grant funding. And what they will do is, we used to, many, many years ago, have a crime prevention department that involved having sworn police officers that would go out and do many of the tasks that these ladies will be doing now for us. And again, so it makes the program much more economically feasible to do it with civilian personnel, and they will be working on a part-time basis. But their duties will include doing such things as business surveys, home surveys for people wanting to figure out ways of making their business facilities or their homes more safe, making them better protected against burglaries and other possible crimes of that nature. They also will be acting as a conduit or a communication conduit between the police department and various organizations such as the neighborhood associations, the landlord association, and they will be helping to not only get information from the public and feed it back to us so that we can be better prepared to be proactive and prevent crime, but also as we have information that we can make available to the public, they will be a vital part of that communication link to get that word out there as well. And so, again, it is not something that gets all of the glamour and the attention that a police officer may get in the line of duty, but it is nonetheless a very, very vital part of the policing services that we provide for the city of Lima.
And you want to, while you're up here, go ahead and invite Chief Deputy Everett. Come on up, please.
Yes, no, we are not trying to hire Chief Deputy Everett away from Sheriff Krish. Since I've been talking about personnel matters, I don't want to have people confused. Actually, what we are here to talk about today now is our next Coffee with a Cop, which will be coming up this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you may initially notice that it's an hour longer than the previous events have been, but that is because this time we want to do things a little bit different. Instead of just having members of the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department available to speak, we're actually going to be putting on a summer safety festival, which will be truly for the entire family. We will have various elements of both agencies represented. I'll let you talk a little bit about what the Sheriff's Department is going to have there, but we will have representatives from Safety City, from our bike team, from our K9 unit, which will all be there, putting on demonstrations. Did I mention the bike unit also? I can't remember. Okay. The bike unit will be putting on bicycle demonstrations for the kids, safety demonstrations. And so, again, there'll be just a lot of activity there for everyone to engage in. If it happens to be raining, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed it won't be, but if it happens to, we do have contingency for some of the events that we'll be able to move indoors. And I guess also then, before I turn it over to Chief Everett, I would just like to say that I also greatly appreciate all of the work that Lima Allen County Neighborhoods in Partnership and McDonald's have both put into making this event happen. But again, it will be Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. At the McDonald's at 1965 Northwest Street. Chief Everett?
From the Sheriff's Office, we'll have a couple of the mounted posse there with their horses, so the kids can go up and they'll be able to pet the horses and talk to the deputies with the horses. There'll be representatives from the regional bomb squad there. They'll have a robot. The DARE officer will be there doing photo IDs, as well as the K9 officer. So we'll have several units there for the public, and we just invite everybody to stop out.
Very good. Thank you all. Do the adults get to pet the horses too?
Yeah.
Okay.
They give you a ride.
And they may give you a ride. Gee, that'd be great. We have another guest, Gina Chiapazzi, who is with an organization that I believe is new in the community, called the
Money and Comedy.
Limaland Comedy organization, and they have a special announcement and a new special event coming up. Gina?
Thank you very much, Mayor Berger. We have an awesome event coming up with Limaland Comedy. A little history with Limaland Comedy. We've been around for just over a year in Lima. Basically, we want to bring comedy back into Lima. Many of you may know Phyllis Diller was born and raised here, and she was comedy's first real female comedian. And this month, in July, on the 20th, we're actually honoring her legacy by hosting Lima's Funniest Lady. And what Lima's Funniest Lady is it's an all-female comedy competition to honor Phyllis Diller and also to raise awareness of the fact that we're looking to establish with the Allen County Museum a Phyllis Diller exhibit. So kind of to get the community involved, get them aware that there is no exhibit there and that it would be a very good idea to have one just because of what she's done for her hometown. Tickets for the event, it's a 2-round event. The first round will feature 12 comedians from all across the Midwest. That preliminary round, the tickets are $10. For the final round, which will be the final 4 comedians that were voted on by the judges, tickets for that are $15. You can get an all-day pass for $25, and we also will have free events. The first free event is at the Meeting Place on Market Street. It's a free improv and sketch comedy show by our troupe Laughs in Middle America. That will run from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then there is an after-party open mic at Louie's Nightclub. That will run from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. The preliminary round is from 2 to 4, and the finals round is from 8 to 10. So it's kind of an all-day event, and we look to kind of just bring some laughs to Lima because we all could use them.
So, to be clear, the what you call the preliminary and final rounds, where will that occur?
That will be at the Met. It's 503 North Main Street, I believe, but that's the wine shop just up the street.
Okay, so 3 of the events are at the Met and 1 is at Louie's.
Yes. No, 2. Sorry. There are the first...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was confusing. The first round, preliminary round, first event of the day is 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That will be at the Met. The free improv and sketch comedy show will be at the Meeting Place on Market Street. The second round, which will be the final round, will be back at the Met from 6 to 8 p.m. And then the open mic afterwards will be at Louie's from 11 to 1. So
Okay,
you can have a full day of comedy.
That's right.
July 20th.
And tickets are obtained how?
You can get tickets in person at the Met or at www.limalandcomedy.com.
Terrific. And is this the first of...
It's the first annual. We plan on having this event, and then we look to eventually expand it to be a little bit more all-encompassing, have some events for kids, things like that. But for the first year, we're going to have the all-female contest.
Terrific.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me to tell a joke, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm just the host.
Well, it sounds like a really terrific new activity in our community for a great cause, and hopefully the community will come out to support it on July the 20th, Saturday. I want to also invite Eric Bontrager from our engineering department to come up. Eric met with the Downtown Lima group last week, but we want to publicly also announce that as a part of the projects that are intended for the renewal of West and Elizabeth Streets and others, we are intending to install new parking meter technology. And so Eric's here to explain what that will be and the options that it will be providing. Eric?
Thank you. I'd like to give you some updates on the new technology that will be offered and hopefully convenience that will offer motorists for parking in downtown Lima. As Mayor Berger said, the first improvement will be on West and Elizabeth Streets. And this improvement was scheduled to be completed this year, but due to some bidding problems with contractors, we're going to delay that project to next spring. But these parking meters will look fairly similar to the parking meters that are there now. They will just be a replacement of parking meters. The new parking meters will be in the same areas and monitor the same spaces that are there now. The parking will change in most areas from parallel parking to diagonal parking. But the main convenience for these meters will be the use of credit cards. It will allow motorists that are parking there to be able to swipe a credit card and to be able to pay for their allotted time on their credit card. It is a secure PCI compliant credit card processing, so you won't have to worry about your credit card information being stolen. It will also offer the same convenience of using coins. If you still find that the best way to pay for your parking, you can still use nickels, dimes, and quarters to pay for the parking there. An advantage to the city is that we can easily change the rates throughout the day if we would so desire. We can do that wirelessly, a wireless transmission, instead of going to each meter to change the rates. We can do that over a computer, and we can even set up a program where different times of the day it could charge different rates. I don't know that we necessarily need to do that downtown, but that is an option that this offers. The second type of technology that we'll be using will be to monitor the parking lot between the RTA building and the health department. This parking lot has your traditional meters right now, paid for by coins. What we're going to do in that parking lot is we're going to have one central station that will monitor and where an individual will put in their money or their credit card, and it will be located on the west side of that parking lot. And what an individual will do is they will park their car in one of the assigned spaces, then they will go to the pay station and they'll enter their license plate number in. And that license plate number will register that car. The person can select how much time they'd like to purchase. And again, this can be done by credit cards or coins, or this machine even takes $1 and $5 bills as well. Another advantage to this machine is you can set up an online account. If you're a regular user of that lot, you can enter in your credit card information and I think even your license plate number at that online account, and that makes it a little quicker when you would visit the station. You can also set it up where it'll send you a text message. If at any time you enter in that license plate number, your time's about to expire, you're still not ready to leave, it'll send you a text message, and then you can extend that time via the website and your cell phone. So that can offer an advantage so you don't get a ticket during that time. The cost of these units, the pay station is around $15,000, so it's quite expensive. It'll monitor approximately 72 spaces. The individual meters are about $1,200 a piece, and those costs are a complete installation. That'll be a separate contractor. He orders them, takes delivery of them, and then it installs them. So that's a little update on some of the coming technologies that will be involved in parking in the downtown area.
Thank you, Eric. And lastly, we have Doug Durliat here from Rhodes with an announcement of the schedule for manufacturing pathway classes.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we are offering another manufacturing pathway class. It's going to be starting on July 8th at Rhodes State College. It's a 40-hour program. This is funded through a community development block grant through the City of Lima. It pays for the instructor costs, and through this we're able to offer this at no cost to students. The advantage is persons who participate in the program, they would get some training and get some contacts established for potential employment. They would also get information on furthering their education experience in the manufacturing area. What we've been hearing from students who have participated in the program during the past year, there had been a lull in this largely due to the recession and the downsizing that occurred, but we're seeing an uptick again with some students gaining employment shortly after completing the basic pathway class. They're taking our advice and marketing themselves with this credential and using whatever other credentials they have, and they're getting employed in places such as Dana, or KMI, or General Aluminum down in Wapakoneta. Some of the things, though, they would be getting some information on during this class. Some great things are happening at Rhodes State College. They recently obtained a grant to establish an industrial maintenance program. They would get some information on how to access that. They received a Mitsubishi training accreditation, and they'd get training for programmable logic control in Mitsubishi, which is the programmable logic control that Honda and the suppliers use, and so you would get some pretty specialized training in that and make yourself employable with that. We also obtained or not obtained, but we submitted a grant application in another area. I'm not going to divulge on that now, but if we do get information that we're awarded that's another discipline in manufacturing that we could be offered some specialized training in. So that's the name of the game if you're serious about getting employment in manufacturing or anything, is getting yourself as marketable as possible and creating some contacts to enhance your chances of employment, and that's the service that this CDBG funded program provides. Here's a program flyer. It gives you the information on how to register. Again, it's at no cost. The class is done in 3 weeks. It's 8 5-hour classes, so you're done very quickly. If you complete the program, you've got the accreditation. It enables you to market it. You get referrals for employment. You get information weekly or even semi-weekly on job opportunities, job fairs, resume writing workshops, and all the other types of things that Rhodes State, Apollo, and our other partners provide. So it's just an investment in your time, and if you're serious about getting into manufacturing and what it would take to get into the program, this is a good way to start.
And they should be in touch with you.
Right. The information's on this flyer. They contact me on my phone at 419-995-8353. Deadline's a week from Friday, but the class would start on the following Monday then, July 8th.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Well, that is all that we have for today, but we'll break down for interviews. Thank you.